Hello, and what's up, good people? My good name is Judy. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. Feel much appreciated here. First of all, thank you so much for 25 subscribers and 35 views in 10 hours. I don't take that for granted. Thank you so much. Okay, if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed, kindly click on that subscribe button. You can subscribe while still watching this video. Okay, even before we start, please like this video. You can like the video even as you're watching, so that you don't forget to like the video at the end of the day. So today I will be talking about breastfeeding because I touched something about breastfeeding yesterday in my introduction video. So breastfeeding means breastfeeding is giving of breast milk to a baby. It might be by direct breastfeeding from the breast or giving expressed breast milk. All that is called breastfeeding. So when a baby is born, breast milk is enough. It provides all the nutrients that the baby needs for growth and development up to 6 months. It is recommended that exclusive breastfeeding it is recommended to conduct exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months. Exclusive breastfeeding means that the baby only gets milk, breast milk only, nothing else, not even water, no anything else. Breast milk and breast milk alone. A baby who is less than 6 months is not supposed even to be given water. Breast milk is enough. So breastfeeding should start within the first 2 hours after birth. Babies who are born term and they have the right birth weight, they can attach or latch to a breast with no struggle within 30 minutes to 2 hours. It is important to start breastfeeding as soon as possible. Once you deliver your baby, once you are out of the delivery room, take the baby, breastfeed him or her. It is important because when you take too long to start breastfeeding, remember this baby was depending on you to feed him through in the womb before he was born, and after he's born he has no other supply of energy or nutrients other than he needs your breast milk. So if you take too long before you start breastfeeding, what happens is the energy stores that they had in store, they get depleted, and it is the same way, they get hungry, and the more they stay hungry, the weaker they become. So the first time you latch them, if you take too long to latch them for the first time, it might be so difficult for them to latch because they don't even have the energy to breastfeed. So it is very important to start breastfeeding as soon as possible. Like, for example, in my case, as I told you yesterday, I am a mother. When I gave birth to my son, he started breastfeeding within even 1 hour was not over before he started breastfeeding, and I didn't have any problem breastfeeding him. He latched very well. So make sure once you deliver your baby, try as much as possible to start breastfeeding as soon as possible. Okay, I know there's someone who is asking, what if my baby is preterm and the baby is in the newborn unit? How do I start breastfeeding early? So this is what you do. Once your baby is taken to the newborn unit, they are usually fed through a tube. There are some who can breastfeed, but there are some who can't be able to breastfeed, maybe because they are preterm. Those who can't be able to breastfeed directly from your breast, they are fed through a nasogastric tube, which is inserted through the nose to the stomach, and then what you do, you express the breast milk, and then take to the newborn unit, and then the babies, you can be you if you the nurse will guide you on how you should feed your baby. Sorry for that. The nurse will guide you on how you should feed your baby, or they'll help you to feed the baby for the first few meals. And then you make sure after maybe every 2 to 3 hours you express some milk, you take to the newborn unit to make sure that your baby grows and your baby gets the nutrition, the nutrients that they need. So there is one key factor to good breastfeeding. Good For you to breastfeed your baby well and for your baby to get enough milk, the baby must latch and attach well to your breast. How do you know that your baby is well latched to your breast? So, for lack of a better illustration tool, I'll use my hand as the breast, and then I'll use this other hand as the baby's mouth. So, if this is the baby's mouth and this is your breast, assume this is your nipple. So this is what you do. Your baby's mouth is crossed at the moment, so you make the nipple touch the upper lip. Once the nipple touches the upper lip, the baby will open his or her mouth. Once the baby opens his or her mouth, you push this lower lip with your alveolar, so that the lip will be turned outside and then the nipple will get into the mouth. By this, the baby will be well attached. A good latch, you see the alveolar part, the black part of the breast, most of it, if not all, should be in your baby's mouth, and then the lower lip should be turned outside like this. Yes. And then when the baby is well latched, he or she should breastfeed without making any sound. Once you hear your baby breastfeeding and is making sounds like, that means your baby is not well latched and he's taking in some air. And if he taking some air, it means that he or she might have some gas problems, and then he might feel like your baby's stomach might be full, but then there is a good percentage of the stomach that is occupied by the air that he or she took in due to poor latching. Due to poor latching. When a good latching, a baby should not be producing any sound like. You should breastfeed silently. That way you will know that your baby is well attached to your breast. Okay, so this is a way that you know that your baby is breastfeeding well. The baby is able to recognize the nipple and latch properly. You are comfortable breastfeeding, there is no any pain or anything, and then after maybe 2-3 weeks you will have noticed that the baby's weight has increased. It's not the same as it was when the baby was born. So it also, to add something on what I said, that a baby should be breastfed as soon as possible after they are born. The first milk that comes out is colostrum. Colostrum has antibodies or yes, it has antibodies which prevents the baby which boosts the baby's immunity, meaning that the baby immunity will be high to cope with the new environment that he or she has come in. So what else? Whatever. Okay, there's something I would like to touch on. In breastfeeding, I have told you it is very important for how the baby attaches and latches on the breast. Second thing is the positioning of the baby when breastfeeding. I don't know what I'll use to illustrate how a baby should be held, or the positioning of a baby to the breast. Let me find something I can demonstrate with. Okay, I use this as the baby, and then we'd use this one to wrap the baby, because once the baby is born, he or she is usually wrapped. So you have wrapped your baby here like that. Yes. So remember, the baby's neck is not strong, so you need to support the baby's neck. So assuming this is the baby's head, the head should be here on your elbow, here. And then your hand should support your baby down here, so that you lift your baby up, so that he or she can get to the where the breast is. If you're feeling the uncomfortable lifting your baby up, especially for CS moms, you can use a shawl, or nowadays there are breastfeeding pillows, a pillow which you put here so that it supports your baby, because you should not be lying down like this to bring the breast to your baby. The baby should be at the position where he or she is able to get to reach the breast. And so this is the correct positioning when breastfeeding. And then when you start breastfeeding, remember this baby is small, so you keep observing him. Once you have latched the baby, as I've told you, you keep checking on him so that the breast doesn't cover the nose, so that the baby can be able to breathe properly. And that's done. That's done for now. Okay, there is another important thing that you should check when your baby is breastfeeding. If your baby isn't breastfeeding enough, the baby will be dehydrated. So it is very important to always check for dehydration in a baby. How do you check for dehydration? You see, in the baby's belly, you check the baby's belly, and then you pinch a bit. You pinch the skin like this, and then you release. If the baby is dehydrated, the skin will take some time to get to the normal position. But if the baby is well hydrated, once you pinch the skin will get back to normal like instant. That's how you know that your baby is is breastfeeding enough. Another point another thing to make sure you observe in breastfeeding is once you start to breastfeeding your baby, once you breastfeed him or her on one breast, and you want to change to the other breast once this other one is completely empty. You should not breastfeed like kidogo hapa, like a few minutes here, and then you switch to the other breast. You should breastfeed on one breast until it is completely empty. Well, the reason is because the milk that comes out first is not the same as the milk that comes out after he has breastfed for some minutes. The milk that comes out later, it is more nutrient dense. It is more nutrient dense. It has more nutrients. So if you breastfeed just for a few minutes on this breast and then switch to the other one, that means the hide milk that has more nutrients, your baby was not able to get it. That's why it is very important to breastfeed on one breast until it is empty, and then you switch to the other breast. And then you switch to the other breast, and then you switch to the other breast. If you've breastfed this one breast and your baby is full and he or she can't breastfeed again, you don't have to force him or her to switch to the other breast. What you do is, in your next feeding, you make sure you start with the other breast that you didn't breastfeed. Or maybe you've breastfed this one, he has emptied completely, and then the other one he has breastfed just a few minutes and then he's full. So the next breastfeeding session, you make sure that you breastfeed, you start with the breast that he didn't empty or didn't breastfeed on. Okay? Yeah. The other thing is the frequency of breastfeeding. A newborn baby should be breastfed at least every 2 to 3 hours. And then, once the babies are born, there are some who are very sleepy. There is one that you breastfeed now, he sleeps, and then he sleeps for like 5 hours. Don't let your baby go for 5 hours without breastfeeding. Once you notice like that he or she has slept for like 3 hours, wake him or her up. How do you wake a baby up? You see at the feet, you remove the socks, and then you do like this, just a little bit. The baby will wake up, and then once he touches the nipple of the breast, he will latch. So you'll breastfeed him or her, and then if he wants to continue sleeping, then it's well, but you know he has slept after breastfeeding. Babies can even breastfeed even asleep, and that's why even at night you should not sleep the whole night without breastfeeding your baby. You should wake up between the nights to breastfeed your baby. I know a baby can breastfeed even when asleep. I have been a mother. I know. I have done it. Okay, the other thing I should tell you about breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is psychological. Once you deliver your baby, you should be ready mentally that you are supposed to breastfeed your baby. And that way, that will help the milk production to go up, and you will not have any problem breastfeeding. So that's why you hear a depressed mother produces little or no milk, because once you're depressed, then it is there's something. If I remember about it, I'll tell you about it. But there's something psychological that affects breast milk rate down. If you're stressed, you will have a problem breastfeeding because you might have little or no milk. Okay, that's another thing to explain that breastfeeding is also psychological. You find mothers who say like, my first baby I didn't have breast milk. Most probably, if they still have that mentality, they'll also have a problem in producing breast milk in their other baby that they have given birth to. So thank you so much I'll finish this video at this point. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. Thank you so much for subscribing. Kindly, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe, like this video, and comment. Leave me a comment there so that I know what I should tackle in my next video. For now, I'll end here. Then have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or night from wherever you're watching me from. Bye bye. See you in my next video. God bless you.